Greg Carpenter's joining us from Racing Victoria, Executive General Manager of Racing. I was just talking to Peter Moody, Greg, about Incentivise the Valley this morning, Caulfield next week in preparation for the Caulfield Cup after the Turnbull.
Well, it's interesting, Andrew, and good morning. I don't think we've seen a horse win all three races since Rising Fast in 1954, Caulfield Cup, Cox Plate and the Melbourne Cup. That would be something to behold. But in contact with Peter last week around the Turnbull Stakes, definitely a non-penalty race for the Caulfield and Melbourne Cup, so they can go to that. And if they win it again, maintain their current handicap for both those races. Real exciting, looking forward to seeing him run again in the Turnbull, which is going to be a pretty strong renewal, I think, this year.
It will be. Horses coming down. We're waiting to see what they do with Very Elegant. Does it come or runs in Sydney again? We'll wait and monitor that through the Chris Waller stable. Sierra.
Well, they've been in contact this morning and a couple of times just confirming what weight Very Elegant will get in the Turnbull. She would run with 57. She gets the maximum 4.5 kilo penalty, and as an older mare, she would get 57. Incentivised in that race, 54.5 as an older male gets a 3 kilo penalty for a Group 1 winner, so he would have 57.5. So intriguing, and looking forward to see where Chris goes with Very Elegant. As you say, the Hill Stakes at Wait for Age, or the Turnbull, which he won last year.
If they ring a couple of times and wanted that information, am I reading too much into it that they're keen on the Turnbull?
Oh, well, it's what you should be reading into it, as always. The Waller stable is very, very thorough.
Yeah.
They do their homework. And, as we know with Chris, when he's ready, he'll make his decisions about where the horses run. He had a very good winner on Saturday in a Tissue. She's another a mare coming through, one the Bill Ritchie that I'd love to see in Melbourne during the spring. So no doubt he's got a very, very strong hand.
Greg, Sierra Sue wins the Sir Rupert Clark from Dice Roll, who nearly rewrote the record books being first up. I'm Thunderstruck, Asar, Probabile, Behemoth. Dave Hegan did the handicapping. He told us last week in our interview, all I want's a tight finish. He got one.
Well, he did, and it was a great result, first and foremost, for Daniel Moore, riding a Group 1 winner in Australia. He's ridden with success in feature races in Mauritius and also Singapore. But it was a flooding finish with Sierra Sue holding sway after her unlucky run at Moonee Valley the start before in the Fiat. Nick Ryan, very close to getting that Group 1 with Dice Roll. This was a high-quality horse in France during its 3-year-old season. Lost its way in Hong Kong, we know, but Nick's done a fantastic job turning it around. And really, I'm Thunderstruck. Knew that he'd drawn the outside. He got a run as the first emergency. When he was at the tail of the field with 600, 700 metres to go, I really thought he would be a remarkable performance to finish in. For him to finish in the placings, given that quality of field to start like that, but he ran home very, very strongly. Bit of a double-edged sword for them, seeing how strong the Toorak might come up if that's where they head next with I'm Thunderstruck. Sierra Sue, Trevor Sutton contact this morning thinking about weights for the Toorak, so that's obviously on their agenda, as would the Empire Rose on Derby Day at Flemington. So great finish. It's really interesting, these Group 1 handicaps. We're talking a lot about race rating and then maintaining the Group 1 status. The irony of Saturday's result is that Probabile, Behemoth, Beau Rosser and Dallasan, who were the highest weighted and highest rated horses in that contest, ran 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th and not beaten far. But unfortunately, their ratings don't count towards the race rating. It's the horses that ran 1, 2, 3, 4. So people should realise that was a very strong Rupert Clark. But like many Group 1 races run in Australia, it's run under handicap conditions, so the best horses don't always finish in the first 4 placings on the day.
No, and I think it'd be fair to say maybe the inside draws, they just got held up at vital stages. Even if they wanted to be in the finish, they just didn't have racing luck. Dice Roll, talking with Nick Ryan this morning, most likely the Toorak. That's the case with I'm Thunderstruck, and we'll wait and see on a few of the others.
Just on that, Andrew, I see early days, but Probabile has an entry for the Underwood Stakes at Caulfield on Sunday. So I'm just thinking, as you said, she was held up. Didn't get out when she wanted to in the straight, so it'd be very interesting to see whether or not she does run, or they'll wait another week for a different contest for Probabeel.
All right. Nonconformist wins the Foundation Cup and gets a spot in the Caulfield Cup.
Terrific result for Graham Begg and Jordan Childs. Geordie's first win back at group level since that horrific injury which had him off the track for a number of months. He was really good. He's a very consistent horse. I thought Delphi was also very good in defeat. So Nonconformist, you're right, goes into the Caulfield Cup now with Mount Poplar as the two horses who have exemption from the ballot. And I wouldn't see why Graham wouldn't continue on that path. Be interested where he goes. I'll presume he'll have to have a run
Might
in
and power.
between.
The Might and Power.
There we go. And for those listeners who thinking where did the Might and Power jump out from, it's the Caulfield Stakes, the great Group 1 weight for age race over 2,000 metres. So, again, that's another race at weight for age. So it'd be a great result if he won it. If he won it and then went into the Caulfield Cup with 51.5 after winning a great weight for age race in Group 1, he'd be well rated. But whatever he does in that, it'd just be a nice race to finish him off for the Caulfield Cup preparation.
One final one, because I've got to get moving here. But General Bow, how good the way that they rode from the draw. They said, no, we're not going to go forward today. We'll sit back. How good was that the last couple of 100 metres?
Well, incredible, because, again, when he was out the back, I thought he was going to have the job in front of him. But, he came down the outside for Damien Lane and won with terrific authority in the end. So it was a very impressive performance. He's a fantastic short course sprinter. Probably a week early in hindsight, it'd be a lovely Moir Stakes chance, but I presume they'll step the bar back up now to group races, whether it's ultimately a Coolmore. But he's a terrific sprinter. I know we are going to finish up, Andrew, so just an opportunity to say it's a great program at Flemington on Wednesday with the spring previews, the first 2-year-olds race of the season in Victoria, and of course the Oaks preview, the Kennedy Oaks preview, and the Penfolds Derby preview. We've got Benalla Cup on Friday, the Moir Stakes Friday night. Now with the Moir Stakes, the meeting will be finishing a little bit earlier than usual because of where we are in Melbourne with curfews and lockdowns. And then, of course, the Underwood Stakes. Group 1 racing returns to Sandown on Saturday and the Ansett Classic at Mornington on Sunday. So huge 5 days of racing towards the end of this week.
You reckon I've been busy on the phone? You've been receiving them rather than sending them this morning with the Wallace stable, with a couple of others on the phone to you about weights and things. Must be intriguing. Greg, thanks for your time. We'll talk again during the week and next week as well.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Andrew.